What's up, everybody? Back with another video. I'm traveling in Kauai, Hawaii, right now, and yeah, so many things been going on in my life. You know, probably be looking for my own place when I get back. Just what do they say? Uh, the 99 portal, 99 triple nine, 999, which is like a month ago, but the energy still with me, still impacting me. Um, pretty much the great reset of my life um, has been happening or will happen is continuing to go on. So that's exciting. I'm kind of say that sarcastically because it sucks. It's like change always sucks. It's never fun to change. For life to change, I shouldn't say it's never fun. I guess when you get used to living a certain way and you've been with someone for 7 years and you've got 3 kids together, it's it's a difficult decision to make to part ways, but I, I think it has to be done. Um, so yeah, looking for another apartment for myself. It's gonna be weird not living with the kids. Um, I'm gonna miss them a lot, but I mean, I'll still see them hopefully as often as I want. I can go there. I'm trying to pick a place that's not too far away, just so that I can still be relatively close with them, and I can, you know, visit them when I get off work or on the weekends. As often or as little as I want, and I don't know what that'll look like. Of course, I enjoy seeing them. I enjoy talking to them. I enjoy living with them and just being there all the time. But at the same time, I do feel like they maybe can take me for granted sometimes. Like, oh, daddy's always around. It's only when they're not around that's like, I miss you or I want to call you. Um, let's see what daddy's doing. What is he? Where is he at? I don't see him. Um, and when they're a lot younger, it used to be like that with their mom. When I would watch them and she would be gone for even 5 minutes, they'd be like, "Where's mommy?" And that kind of hurt me a little bit because, but when they were little, little, she took care of them for the most part. So, I worked and I spent time with them, but she was the one that like took care of them, that fed them, changed their diaper, put them to bed. Um, I did some things too. I put them to bed for a while, but I mean, yeah, she just did more for them, and so that's just how it goes sometimes when you're the the main caretaker and then you leave for 5 minutes. It's like, where did she go? But they do that with me. Um, I've been talking to them daily now that I'm in Kauai for the last couple days. But and when I'm there, I I don't want to make it sound like they don't want to play with me or they don't want to hang out with me or see me or anything. In fact, it's usually me that's kind of like busy or like, oh, I can't do that right now. I'm sorry, I have to work or I have to do this other thing. Um, but sometimes they have an attitude, or if you ever try to reprimand them where or whatever, like where you just like, hey, don't hit your sister. Um, Elsie will kind of get upset and she'll be like, I don't love you or you don't love me. She'll say those kind of things. And, obviously I know she, but I don't know where she learned to say that or if, she picked that up from another kid or where that came from, because I don't think her mom or I say that. Her mom might have said that before, and maybe that's where she's getting it from. I'm not sure where I've never said that, like, "Oh, you didn't do this thing, or you made a mess in the house, so I don't love you." No, I would never say that. But my wife might have said that. Um, I've got this vibhuti on my third eye. I've also got it on my throat chakra, just in case anybody was wondering, "What's that?" It's got paint on his head or something like that. No, it's a consecrated ash. You can get it from Isha Life. Um, it's got a really high vibration to it, and I can feel it when I put it on. But so I'm still wearing that just in case anyone was curious. But yeah, maybe it'll be good for the kids too, to just not take me for granted, not take anyone for granted, because they're still young and they don't realize maybe or understand that, mommy and daddy could really be gone any day. We could get into a car accident one day and then you just never see us again. And and also change, things change in life. Things That's the only constant there is in life, is change. Um, Nothing ever stays the same forever. Um, and so, for a while I was guilty, and I felt guilty, or even now I almost, um, not now, but sometimes I feel like, um, I carry them like it's a burden. Like um, it's like I've both of us, maybe more so me though, have stayed in the relationship because of our kids, but that's not my burden to bear. And they knew what they signed up for when they came into this life. Um, I was told that, and I believe that, but I didn't see it until somebody told me about it, um, and now I see it. So, yeah, big changes in my life, but once that happens, I mean, that's pretty much everything. Like, I don't think I ever talked about this, but I had a foreclosure on my house. Um, it was my own fault, but again, it was meant to happen the way it happened. Um, and so we lost our house. Now with the family and me getting my own place, it's a pretty much I can't lose much more than that. I could, but I hope that I don't. I don't think. I think this is the last. So new beginnings, new starts. Hopefully I'll be more frequent with the channel, and really trying to build this, and really putting that effort into it. Although, I mean, in a way, I mean, it's just, in a way it's effortless, because I don't really plan what I'm going to say, or anything when I come on here. I just come on and talk about things that happened to me today, or what's going on with me recently, or how did I, those kind of things. And I think that's how it should be. Um, I don't think I need to plan, and what am I going to talk about for the next 7 days? If I make a video every day, what am I going to talk about for those 7 days? Or whatever. I don't think I need to be that structured. Maybe at one point, if the ideas come and they're just overflowing, I'll write them down, and try to do them, sequentially or in a certain order that makes sense. But right now, that's not happening. There's just so much going on in my life, and so even moving, that's going to take a few days or a week to kind of get settled in, to move and get settled in. I still have to find a place. Um, yeah. So, but yeah, if I can be more regular with my channel. I started doing yoga again recently. I'd stopped for like 3, 4 months. I was going to the gym for a little while, and then I started doing music again. And so things were kind of just moving and reorganizing and reprioritizing um, what was happening in my life in order to get back into music. There was like a certain amount of things I had to do. Um, and so anyways, that took me a few months, and then like I said, going to the gym was really important for me to I think build that bone density as well as maybe have just a little bit more muscle. And now I'm not going to the gym, but I think it happened that way for a period of time. I was supposed to work on my physicality, and now I've done that. And so now and then I was guided back to get back into yoga, and I didn't. I was like ignoring the signs. Um, and so, yeah, I think once I have my own place, though, I'll be able to work on more music. I can be more regular with my videos. Maybe I won't have a job much longer. I'm not really sure um, what's going to happen with that, but yeah, I think I'll have more time to do the things that I want to do. Instead of having all these expectations of me, which is one thing my wife is good at. She loves to just pile a bunch of expectations on. Well, this is what the husband's supposed to do this in the relationship or whatever. Um, so yeah, it's kind of nerve wracking just because it's like you don't know if it's the right choice, if you're making the right decision. It's a big decision, and I've been guided for over a month now, I think, to kind of leave my wife and family. And I just didn't want to do what my guides were telling me to do. I needed to know for myself, what's the reason? I don't see it. But now that I've been able to kind of be alone and sit with myself, um, I see it. I see it. My wife doesn't value me, basically. She she said it multiple times recently, where she thinks the only thing I do is put a roof over our head. I just pay the rent. But there's bills and vacations and everything that we do. I pay for everything. She doesn't, and that's fine. I don't expect her to work, but her to, it's belittling to say, well, you only do, and she's not willing to see that there's more. And this isn't the first conversation that we've had. I think this is, give or take, since we've been together, since I can remember. Um, she's kind of at a certain point, both of us were that way. But now I've kind of worked on myself, and I don't think of her that way. I value her and I see what she does. Um, but she hasn't changed. She's still viewing me the same. Like I don't do anything. So yeah. Um, yeah, so I'm in Kauai. Had a problem with the rental car, so I don't have a rental car here, and they suggest to have a rental car, but I think I wasn't supposed to have a rental car here. Um, I booked the rental car and everything, but something happened, and I don't have one. But I think if I did have one, I'd be driving all over here and there and trying to do everything and see all the sights and do so many things. And I think that I'm just supposed to take it easy and meditate, do some yoga, go to the beach, and just relax and have a good time. Um, when I went to Mount Shasta, it was great. I had a rental car, and I was, driving to this trail, and I did so much hiking every day. I did something, and that was great. It was exhausting, but it was great. Um, I really enjoyed it. But but not this time. But I think there'll be plenty of time for me to come back to Hawaii or Kauai, and at that point I can do all the things, whatever. Um, so I did some with the yoga and stuff recently. I've been feeling more energy, so I did some alternate nostril breathing. There's so many words for it. Sukha Kriya is what Sadhguru calls it, but I've heard it called Nadi Shodhanam, something like that. So you breathe out, you breathe in your left nostril, and then you're holding your airway, so it only goes through one nostril while you're breathing. And so you breathe in, you breathe out your left nostril, you breathe in your left nostril, then you breathe out your right nostril, then you breathe in your right nostril. And I was doing that, and I could feel that's supposed to kind of balance your energies, and I could feel my what the heck is it? Pineal gland. I couldn't think of the word. My pineal gland was really lighting up and activating, and even I could even sense my pituitary gland kind of becoming activated from it. And then a little bit of my third eye. Um, there, when I did the Samyama program, they had a lot of preparatory sadhana. So if you had to do 2 months of sadhana before you did the program, some people I don't think did it, but I did it. And one of that was just doing an hour of the Sukha Kriya. And by the end of it, after 2 months, doing an hour every day, in addition to the yoga that I was doing and the eating, you can't eat any meat or any processed foods or whatever. It was really strict, but I felt amazing after doing it. Um, and so after 2 months of doing the Sukha Kriya, my third eye was just like a big ball. Every time I did it, it was just it was huge. It felt at the end of it, it felt massive. And so again, it's like a balancing of your chakras. And so I think your lower chakras generally are just I'm not saying they're balanced by default, but they contain a lot of energy. And so I think what that's doing is bringing the energy up into your higher chakras and balancing them with the lower chakras. So you're not maybe more lower and you have a mixture of upper and lower. And so I did some of that at the beach. I did some Om chanting. Again, the Om chanting, I don't know what that was doing, but it was kind of like, I almost feel like it was breaking down structures, energetic structures, because I felt just almost like a expansion, but at the same time, like let's say like I have my pineal gland and my pituitary gland and my third eye, and they all feel like separate. But after doing the Om chanting, it was just like one big ball. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of big energetic changes that are happening in myself. Um, and I don't quite know how to explain them all, but I'm noticing the changes, and so I thought I would just share. I don't know if anybody else is noticing changes, or if maybe you've noticed changes for a while. What's happening in your life? Leave me a comment. Let me know what's happening with you energetically. I'm curious to know what's happening with others out there. But I'm definitely noticing some changes, even when I'm doing the yoga. So I just did a fast. I did a honey fast for, I think it was 5 days. I was trying to do 7 or 8 days, but I ended up fasting like on the honey fast almost the entire day. And by the time I got to Kauai, I hadn't had, because normally I drink the honey water periodically throughout the day whenever I get hungry. So like usually like 3 times a day. Well, this time I drank it in the morning before I got on the flight or before I went to the airport. So like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. I didn't have anything until I didn't have anything after landing in Kauai. getting to my Airbnb, um, and then I went to the store to go get some honey. They closed at 6 p.m. So I'm like, I get there and they're closed, and I'm like, I should have looked at the hours. I didn't think that they'd be closed. Like, what store closes at 6 p.m.? But I don't know. Maybe it just slows down here. That's island life sometimes. Um, I lived on an island in South Beach for a little while, so I don't know. Things there were open most of the time, but I know if you go to Europe or certain places around the world, they just like they don't live the same life that everyone else does. It's like, anyways, there was a store behind me, but I didn't know at the time that I could have gotten honey and lemon from. But I was so hungry. I'm like, that the store was closed, and I'm like, I broke my fast. Anyways, went on a tangent there. But so I've been doing the fasting, and um, I released a lot of gas and a lot of toxins, a lot of maybe acidic material. I just released a lot of stuff, and that helped me to have clarity with this relationship um, situation, because I was really pondering that, like, they want me to leave, but why? What's the reason? I just don't see it. And I need a good reason. I can't just leave without seeing it. And that honey fast helped me to see it. I don't even know that I did need the honey fast, because I don't know. Anyways, um, but yeah, I did the honey fast, and then when I started doing yoga, my body was like, it was a little stiff, to be expected. But there were certain postures that I couldn't even barely do or get into. And after doing the honey fast, I feel like that's changed. I'm kind of like back to where I was when I left off, you know, approximately about doing yoga. So, but I feel so much better after doing yoga these days. Like, my body is just, it feels lighter after doing the fast. My lower chakras, like maybe my root chakra or my sacral, my abdomen area, has been feeling really like light, and has a certain like cooling sensation or a certain energy to it that feels really good. I know it's good for me after doing the fast. So um, yeah, I wish I could have kept doing the fast longer, but I'm not going to beat myself up for that. Um, that was I did the best I could that day, and after. I mean, that was the fifth day of fasting, and going a whole day pretty much without eating. And at 7 o'clock at night, it's just like, okay, whatever. Um, but I haven't been eating much since then. I mean, I think I ate once yesterday, and then today I ate once, and I did some. Um, I bought some honey, and I'm not doing the fast, but I just bought some honey while I was here, so I was mixing that up with some water and just drinking that. Um, so yeah, hopefully I'm not losing too much weight or a ton of weight, because I don't want to. I don't mind being skinny, but I don't want to. I don't want to lose that bone density that I work so hard to get back, um, as well as a little bit of muscle. I gained um, a fair amount of muscle. I'd like to hold on to that. So I don't know. We'll see. But all right, kind of a long video today, or longer for me. I try to keep them shorter, but yeah, I'm really curious to hear what's been going on energetically for you, or what's been happening in your life. Are you having these kind of great reset moments? What's happening with you? I'm curious to know. Leave something in the comments, and I'll do my best to respond. Otherwise, until next time, see you later.